Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name's Lana. I'm an academic support librarian here at the University of Adelaide Library. I'm presenting here today on Ghanaland. It's another rainy and cold day, so I'm hoping wherever you are, you're staying warm and dry. Feel free to pop into the chat if you'd like to acknowledge where you're tuning in from. Also, so a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to pop up a poll in a minute just for you to answer a couple of questions just to see, who I'm speaking to today, what year of study are you in, and what faculty you're from, just so I can sort of, lead us in the right direction to see who we've got here today. All right, so we've got a few first year, second year, a few postgrads. We've got people from the sciences, arts, business, through from the health and medical. Okay, great. So today's webinar is actually a first in a new series of webinars that the library is hosting this semester. It'll be a weekly webinar that we do every Wednesday at the same time at 11:30. So today I'll be kicking you off with a bit of an introduction to library services. So this is, what help or services are available to you as a student at the University of Adelaide from the library. As you can see, the webinar will be recorded and we'll be popping it up onto our YouTube channel as well and sending it out to everyone who's registered. If you've got any questions, please pop them into the Q&A. I've got my colleague Matt online who will answer questions throughout the webinar, and there'll be time at the end for questions as well. And Matt will also be posting some links into the chat, so feel free to bookmark these so you can go back to them later or look at them as we're going through. Okay, so I'm not expecting this to go for too long. It should just be a nice sort of introduction to the library and how we can help you get started with your studies. I'm just going to end the poll. Thank you for that. So we've got, all over the place. So it'd just be a nice, in terms of what year your study you're in. So it'll just be a nice introduction to how the library can help. Okay, so I'm going to end that poll. Okay, so to get us started, some people still aren't sure where to go to find the library website. So you can either, starting from, if you're on the University of Adelaide webpage, the quickest way to get there is through the quick links drop-down tab in the top right-hand corner, and then there is a link to the library there. If you want to go even quicker than that, you can also as well just Google University of Adelaide Library and it'll pop you up onto this page here. So this is the library's the homepage for the library. From the top, so we've got orientation tab here since we're in O week, but it will normally pop up like this. So you've got your library search here. This is the where we look at the library catalogue from there. If you want to access Google Scholar, we always recommend you go through the library webpage. So we do have a Google Scholar link here. This just means that you access the subscriptions that we pay for. So you'll be able to get the University of Adelaide access to it there. Whereas if you were to go through, not through the library, you might hit paywalls. We have a lot of handy links within just this first box. We also have our How Do I guides. So these are our self-help guides. I'll go through these a little bit later. On the right-hand side here, you can have a look at our opening hours. You can log in if you'd like to find a study space within the library to book, to have some private meeting or just a private study space for yourself. You can do that as well there. We also have an online chat, and this live chat button sort of floats on all of our web pages. So it's down the bottom there. So you can talk to, between business hours, so usually 9 to 5, you can talk to librarians on the other end. If you've got any questions, that's I'd probably say your easiest first point of call to get in touch with us. Okay, and then if you scroll down, there's other areas for students. If you're researchers, I saw we had a few postgrad people popping on, so researchers might be useful for you. And if you scroll down, just a few other sort of popular links that we have here as well. And then down the bottom is our blog. So just news, things that are happening, any events that we've got going on down there. So feel free to have a look at that. Okay. All right, so first thing we're going to have a look at is this students box here, so services for students. So this just explains, what services are available to you as a student. If you're not really sure whether we can help you with that, or you're just curious, what we can help you with, you can have a look in here. So Ask Library, who are the librarians on the other end of live chat, They are able to help you, with anything from searching, referencing, how to borrow, how to find computers, how to find books on the shelves. If you're in the library and you're a bit lost, they can also help you find where you need to go as well. So down here is just common, questions, FAQs that you might want to have a look at, so finding books, and it'll give you some helpful information in there, so you can have a look in there at any time. Okay, now I'm just going to go back to the home page. So the easiest way is I usually use the breadcrumbs here and just click on library. So back at the library homepage. Now, I mentioned Ask Library. So Ask Library is another button here. Ask Library is our team of librarians that are sort of your first port of call for help with the library. So if we click on this page here, it takes you into their webpage for how to contact the library. So if you ever need help, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact us. So there's a chat button. As I said, you can chat with us between 9 to 5. Not open on the weekend, but if you do send in a message in there outside of business hours, that's also okay, and they'll just get back to you during business hours, sort of the next day. You can also send through an email, so you can send through an email anytime and it'll be answered again within business hours. And you can call if you'd like to call, or if you're on campus at North Terrace, you feel free to pop in to the Ask Library desk as well, and that's manned during the hours, during certain times as well. So yes, please do not hesitate to reach out if you ever need help from us. So just going to go back to the library homepage. So if you are a bit of a self-starter, or like, reading instructions yourself and trying to work it out yourself, but you just need a little bit of help, we do have a whole range of self-help guides available, and we call these our How Do I guides. So there's a link to them here, or if we scroll down, they're also linked here. So if we click into them, it'll take you to our landing page, and they're sorted into different categories. So you can have a little scroll through here, see what might be useful for you if you're interested in referencing, if you're interested in, just developing those essential skills with using the library. So it's just a drop down. You can have a look. These are all separate guides. So if you're getting started with using the library, you might want to have a look at the Use Library Search, so how to search within the library. So it takes you into guides, and they all sort of look very similar to this, and just have all of your step-by-step information in there. So we can go back to the full list here. So you might want to have a look at one of our most popular guides has been our artificial intelligence guide, which we developed and are still continuing to develop. So that's a really good one to look at if you're interested in that. You might be doing music, so you can have a look at that. There's a whole page on referencing. I'm going to come back to referencing, but this is one way to get to your referencing support page. And then if you're studying a particular subject, we also have a few subject portals for our major sort of subjects there. So let's say you're doing medicine, perhaps, and it'll take you into our medicine subject database. So it'll give you key resources, lots and lots of information. So definitely have a browse through this when you have some time. Okay. So as I mentioned, referencing support. So if you're not sure where to get started with referencing, you've been told to do Harvard, you've been told to do APA, and you're not sure how to do that, we have a whole support guide for you. So you can access it from here for How Do I guides, and under referencing and manage information, and you can click on the referencing support page here. Or if you are on the library webpage, the main page, if you scroll down, we have referencing support here as well as a nice quick link. So if we'll just click on that. So we have a few different options here for you. If you are using, or if you've been asked to use Harvard, we have an interactive Harvard guide, which is quite handy. And I like to point out in here, other than, clicking through depending on what sort of type of resource you have. If you've got any sort of tricky questions, they can be found in the FAQs tab. So I really like this one in here. So, sometimes you get these curly questions. How do I reference different authors with the same family name? So it'll give you the options here, or how do I reference multiple sources at once? So this is a really quite handy if you've got some of those funky questions that you can't sort of work out just from going through the normal resource types. So then if I just go back to the library, so this just goes back to our referencing support page. Now, if you're not doing Harvard, you can click into more style guides. And we've got guides for other different styles of referencing in there as well for you to refer to. Okay. All right, so that is referencing. So if I'm just going to go back to the library homepage again, the last little thing I want to show you, which is, again, something that you can do in your own time. If you just want to learn along yourself, we have a whole lot of training courses. They're a little bit tricky to find. So the best way I find to get there is if you jump into services for students, or any of these really, any of these three boxes, but I'm just going to click on the services for students. And then on the left-hand menu, so this menu down the side here, if we scroll down, you can see this tab here for training. So if we click on training and then scroll down again, you can see links to the library courses that we've created. So our initial sort of fundamental library skills, if you want to get started, if you're not familiar with how to use a library, you can jump into our Library Essentials 1 course, and it's a My Uni course. It's made up of different modules, different sections. You don't have to do it from start to finish. You can jump in at different sections and just, there's different activities in there. It's probably a bit more thorough, a bit more in-depth than our How Do I guides, if you want to go about it that way. So there's our first two courses there. So the Library Essentials 1 and the Library Essentials 2 for more intermediate. Now, if we scroll down, there are other courses in here as well. So I know I've got a few postgrads online here, so you might be more interested in the Introduction to Advanced Searching. If you're doing a systematic review, we have a fundamentals course that was released not very long ago, a couple of months ago. Or if you're interested in EndNote, we also have EndNote there. So feel free to browse these and add these to your dashboard on My Uni. So jump over to mine. So if you're first year, yours isn't going to be as full as this. But once you enroll in one of these courses, they'll sit within your My Uni all the time. So you can jump in at any stage if you need to. And to enroll, you just click on it. I'm already enrolled, so it's just going to take me straight to the course. But this is what the landing page looks like. So if you're starting on Library Essentials 1, you can choose what you're studying. So then it gives you examples that are a bit more aligned with what you're studying there. So this will sit on your My Uni dashboard. So if you're in My Uni in your dashboard, so you can jump on this at any time. You don't need to go through training and finding that course every time. It'll sit on your My Uni once you've enrolled. So it will be down a little bit until we see. So that's the Library Essentials Fundamentals course there, Library Essentials 2 there. Okay. So also on this training page is where you will find webinars and workshops. So this is the first in this webinar series for students. So you can click on this link here and it will take you to our full list of webinars here. Just going to go back. And then if you are postgrad or doing research, there is a series of workshops for researchers as well, done by our liaison librarians in the library. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the library homepage. So again, to get to the library, quickest way, if you are on the University of Adelaide homepage, it's quick links up the top and then library, or you can just Google Adelaide Uni Library and it'll get you there. If you're a student, services for students, really handy to get you started. If you're postgrad doing research, then researchers, you can have a little look in there. Accessing the catalogue through library search, this search bar here. There will be some webinars on this in the following weeks to go through this a little bit more. How do our guides? Really good resource to get you started on different topics if you need some step-by-step. Google Scholar, make sure you go through the library to access that. Okay, so that's really all we wanted to show you today for the library webpage. So we've got a little bit of time for questions, and I'm just going to switch my screen back to PowerPoint. We've got a little bit of time for questions, and we've also got, as I said, this is the first in a series of webinars. You can register to jump on these each week. Okay. How do I add to my uni dashboard? Yeah, so when you first click on the Library Essentials link from the web page, it will take you to a screen that'll say enroll. Once you've enrolled, it will automatically appear on your My Uni dashboard. And the library webinar videos, so they will be, let me just jump back to my web page. So the library webinar videos, if you want to register for other ones or have a look, so that's within the training page. So again, if we just go through students, scroll down to training, and on this page, and I think Matt has popped a link. Yeah, so Matt's popped a link into the chat there. That will take you directly to where the rest of the webinars are. But otherwise on the training web page, there is a link to your videos there. And then the recording will go up onto a YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and look up the University of Adelaide Library, this video and all of our subsequent webinars that we're recording after this will appear in here. Okay. Were there any other questions about today? I'll just pop up just a final poll.
Diane's still got her hand raised. I'm not sure whether you've answered her question, every question she had.
Hang on, let me check.
It looks like you answered the questions in the chat, but
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to launch up a final poll. Just while, if anyone else has any questions, I'll just leave this one up here while we go. But yes, feel free to, we'd love it if you'd like to come along to our next webinars. Next week is Search Smarter, Not Harder. So getting started on creating your search strategy. If you're not really sure where to start, you might be given an assignment question, a research topic. So we'll help you, developing that initial search strategy. And then subsequent weeks, we've got, all that referencing, a little bit on using AI in your research. The QR code just takes you to that library webinars page that Matt popped up in the link. If you'd like to register for any of our webinars coming up, they're all available now to book in. So we might wrap it up there for today. So thank you for coming along. We'll have the recording up on YouTube so you can go through it. Otherwise, thank you all for coming along.